Thank you very much, my dear comrade. Thanks very much. It is not our intention whatsoever to set wrong precedents. We must start from there. But fortunately or unfortunately, we have, and in the interest of all of us, we have a procedural point that we must follow. We need to follow that process because, comrades, some amongst you will then litigate this process and we start from beginning. And that's not what we want, comrades. Let's allow that particular last indication and we move forward. Please, comrades, thanks very much.
Right, we've got the nomination already. There's a nomination. There's a nomination already on the floor. Then there's a letter from Itumeleng Linamachane accepting the nomination. Can we get the support for the name Laga Itumeleng? The name will appear on the ballot paper. Last nomination, Limpopo.
My name is Liseli Mapagane, the Regional Secretary of Skukune. I nominate Comrade Katlago Makofane.
delegates, before all delegates, I'm still on the floor. You will raise your point of order. Now, this name was raised, and you ordered a recount on this name.
No,
Allow me to
okay.
finish.
All right.
This name was raised, and you ordered a recount on this name. We gave you a recount, right?
No.
Now, no, allow me to finish.
Okay.
What's going to happen now? In an orderly manner, you're going to sit down and you're going to count this name. Support us for this name. Wait, comrade, I will hand over to the chairperson of the session. Wait for this thing for my turn to finish. I will hand over to the chairperson of the session. Hold on. The name will appear on the ballot paper. Now, chairperson of the session, there's a point of order being raised.
Is that Free State? May we take the point? Can you open that mic, please? May we have a roving mic, please? Can you move to the next mic? Where are the technicians? Are they here at the back? Technicians, can you fix the mic?
Chair, standing here is Vusilwani, ANC Youth League member in Ward 19, Hamulti branch, Makaka subcluster, Fezile in the Free State. Chair of the session, I want this plenary to advise on whether is it correct that when the president of the organization have formally closed a matter, there comes an election subcommittee overruling what the president has closed on the matter. Is it correct? Let the plenary advise.
Comrades, let me explain the procedures. The elections of the NEC or members of the ANC Youth League is conducted through an electoral committee and an election agency. They are the only structure that runs elections in conference. When we broke for supper, the understanding was that we were going to finish the nomination process. And as conference proceeded, we were told that you wanted to close the nomination process. When we were trying to find out whether is that the understanding of conference, there are those who said they wanted to further nominate. The conference is not about the NEC members, it's about branches. So it's only branches that can take a decision. I put it to you to conclude the process. Thus, we are at that stage that you as delegates must conclude the process. I'm going to give the elections agency to allow those who want to finish the process to do so that we can finish our work. Thank you very much.
Right, the two names were added from Limpopo. I get the doctor indicated that there were two names that they wished to nominate in Limpopo. Am I correct then to assume? But Umieki Luchapesin that was here, I'm now taking over because I want to read the list, comrades, so that we can go and prepare the ballot paper.
The point of order is not sustained.
Yes.
Allow me, comrades, to read out to you the list of 45 candidates. Allow me to read the list of the 45 candidates, out of which we will be voting for 40. Luzuko Peshman Yanga Kovana, Palomina Chama, Tsepo Low, Ntombi Magwaza, Eugene Manana, Temba Matibe, Pinky Mpele, Inati Mbio, Avela Mjajubana, Emmanuel Mungwe, Lufefe Nkutu, Ondela Sokomane, Jacob Tau, Avuile Klabadia, Bethwell Zungeza, Andisiwe Kumbata, Thabo Mufukeng, Nkosinathi Gumede, Dr. Ramotwala, Dennis Mtsweni, Milisa Sokacha, Wesley Khang, Kanyile Pukuza, Kutlwano Rakosa, Zama Kanyasa, Anisha Ludik, Jerry Kukwana, Asanda Luata, Ntando Maduna, Nomoya Mnisi, Portia Ntuta, Zitembi Lehlongwa, Nompumele Lompata, Tieho Muku, is it Mukoko or Muku? But I'll find it in the acceptance form. Njabulo Mtolo, Zizwe Zingitwa, Mbalizonke Makubane, Khawlathi Khabo, Khalalelo Mukhokwa, Fasia Hassan, Kokezo Muhatlane, Mendi Ramakwe, Itumeleng Makhano, and Katleho Makofane. These are the 45 candidates, and you'll be voting for 40. Thank you so much, comrades. Allow us time then to go and prepare the ballot paper. Before I go, is there anyone that has reconsidered their position? Is there anyone that has reconsidered their position? No. Right. Can I be excused then?
Amandla awethu abanye bayazaba Mandla awethu ibambe comrades bambe, we are trying to sort out.
I omitted the name Laka Kutlwano Rakosa. She is on the list. No.
Sugo. Amen. Go and check properly. Don't hash them. Go check. Yeah. Just send the president. Check
Mandla. What's the challenge?
find out the name there. Not here. The names are not with us.
Comrades, Amandla, the issue of the names, comrades, will be sorted. The issue of the names that you no, we will before they conclude with the ballots, they will come back and present this again. So, comrades, we need to welcome our president now. The issue of names will be sorted, comrades. After President addressed us, we will call IEC or Electoral to read the names again. Then, before we proceed, you'll be able to see that all those names are appearing on the ballots. Mandla, awethu, abanye bayazi, ANC Youth League. Abanye bayazi, ANC Youth League. Abanya bayazi, ANC Youth League. Step number 1, utwalisi form. Ibambeni we bafana. Ibambe. I think they've intervened that side, comrades. Comrades, we are waiting for President to join us. I think we must join the revolutionary song, comrades. Oh, welelema. Comrades, let us sing one revolutionary song, comrades. We can't have two songs. Comrades from KZN, can you please join the song? You mustn't start your own song that side. Uwelelema, sekuzokhali bazuka, uwele. It's an open session, comrades. Well, welcoming media. much, comrades. Amandla. Thank you very much, comrades. Can you please take your seats? Mandla! 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 Awethu! Mandla! Mandla! Awethu! Viva ANC Youth, viva! Viva ANC Youth, viva! Hayi hlale phansi. Comrades, can you please take your seats? We are about to proceed. Thank you very much, Comrade President. As you can see that young people are very excited for bringing back the preparatory school. Mandla, can you hear me now? Thank you. We are welcoming our President, Comrade Cyril. Comrade Cyril, as you can see, young people are very excited that you brought back the preparatory school. We even said, Cyril, aye, you know. Mandla! 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 Awethu! Mandla! Awethu! Comrades, I don't want to waste time. I will welcome our President, Comrade Colin, to come and address us, but also welcome our President, Comrade Colin. Thank you.
Manja, 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 manja. Awethu. Veva, cosas, 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 veva. Veva, sasko, 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 veva. Veva, the YCL, the YCL, the YCL, veva. Veva, the ANC Youth League, the ANC Youth League, veva. Viva President Peter Mukaba, viva! Viva President Oliver Tambo, viva! Viva President Nelson Mandela, viva! Amaja! Away, two. Thank you very much, Deputy President. Today, currently my responsibility is very simple. Is to, I will not even say introduce because looks like President Cyril Ramaphosa is more popular than me here. Now, to call upon the former Secretary General of NUM, the former Secretary General of the ANC, the current and former president of the ANC, the former deputy president of the ANC. He has got many nicknames. Every conference, other conference, they call him a Buffalo. Others, they say Zankole. I won't mention the new name. Because the other name was cleared. The other name was cleared by the public protector. I won't call it because it was cleared. I'll call upon the president to come and address us. Inzima lendlela inameva iyashaba inzima lendlela inzima lendlela Sizozabalas Sizozabalas Inzima lendlela
Amandla. Viva ANC, viva. Viva COSATU, viva. Viva SACP, viva. Viva ANC Youth League, viva. Amandla. Comrade President Colin Malachi, officials of the ANC Youth League, newly elected, leadership of the Progressive Youth Alliance, members of the National Executive Committee here present, and friends who are also amongst us. It feels good to be here, even with this new name that I don't know where it comes from. It is truly a privilege. It's really a privilege and an honor to be amongst young people like you are. You all look so beautiful. That's reserved for the young women and almost handsome for the young men. It's a real pleasure to be amongst you, but it is also a pleasure for me to be here to extend greetings and congratulations on behalf of the ANC National Executive Committee. I offer congratulations to those officials that you've just elected. Colin Malachi as President, Comrade Phumzile Mgcina as Deputy President, Mtuwokolo Nguhle as Secretary General, Comrade Sakani Shiviti as First CSG, Comrade Olga Siate as Second DSG, Comrade Zwelo Masilela as TG. Comrades, you have made history. You have made history in that we have not had a formal structure, elected structure of the ANC Youth League in the past 8 years. Congratulations and thank you very much for getting us here. You've also made history by electing the first female as your ANC Youth League Deputy President. And the first female as your Second Deputy Secretary General, and most importantly, for achieving a 50-50 balance in your officials. It is truly fitting, as we end Youth Month, that we are here after 8 years in a position where the young people of the African National Congress can take charge of reviving their organization. You are the heirs of a very proud and distinguished legacy. You stand as the Youth League and all of you as delegates here on the shoulders of giants of our liberation movement, and you must stretch every muscle in you to ensure that you live up to the proud and militant traditions bestowed upon you by comrades such as Anton Lembede, Nelson Mandela, Walter Sisulu, and the generation of Steve Bantu Biko, who revived internal mass resistance and who swelled the ranks of the ANC Umkhonto weSizwe. This includes the young lions of the 1980s, who rose to the calls to revive the formation of organizations such as COSAS, AZASO, after the banning of the Black Consciousness Student Organization in 1977, who spearheaded the education campaign or charter campaign and built a non-racial student movement with NUSAS. The young lions also include the thousands who rose to the call to form youth organizations in every township and village that spearheaded the call to make our country ungovernable and apartheid unworkable, and who also formed the very militant youth organization, the South African Youth Congress in 1987. It also includes a generation who launched the ANC Youth League in 1991 in KwaNdebele, who went on to defend young people and communities to face a third force violence and ensured young people participated in and supported the negotiations process, took part in the formulation of the RDP, and ensured an ANC elections victory in 1994. It was this generation who contributed to crafting the youth policy architecture of our country today. And I'm very pleased that you have veterans of the ANC Youth League here sitting on the stage. They are still youthful at heart. They may be a little older, but they are still agile and they can still toy. And I'm really pleased that they are here to be part of this conference. We must always remember that the formation of the ANC Youth League in 1994 was a response to the issues that were current at the time that were massive problems to our people, such as mass unemployment, widespread poverty, and a leadership that is said to have been out of touch with the needs of the people of South Africa. Our country faces similar challenges today. Unemployment is still unacceptably high. Poverty is still widespread, and our movement still struggles to bridge what we call the social distance. The young lions of 1944 wanted to change the nature of resistance from passive deputations to mass boycotts and a more militant program of action. Many of these young leaders would go on to become outstanding leaders of the ANC itself and succeeded in changing the very history of our movement and our country. So, comrades, this is your history. This is where your organization has come from. And indeed, this is your legacy. You must own it. But it is also a legacy which you must strive to emulate. As you claim this legacy, which you must own, your tasks were clearly set out in the 2017 Strategy and Tactics document, which was adopted by the conference in 2017, which declared that the ANC Youth League has the responsibility of harnessing the energies of young people to lend vigor and dynamism to this process of social transformation. It acts as a school for imparting theory and practical experience to young people who align themselves with the policies of the ANC. Guided by the strategy, tactics, and policies of the movement, the Youth League is tasked with organizing and campaigning around issues of special interest to young people and broader questions of social transformation. To play this role, the strategy and document continued. The League must have discipline of thought and action, the courage to try new things, and the humility to drink from the well of the liberation movement's collective experience. We must therefore measure the events and deliberations and outcomes of this Congress against this standard. This is a very high standard. And so you know the Youth League has also had a global image, a global image that goes way beyond the borders of our country. A few weeks ago, I had occasion to meet someone who is not a South African, who is Danish, who informed me that she became a member of the Youth League at age 11 when the ANC was still in exile. And that was the first political organization that she joined. And she joined it because of the values that the ANC Youth League stood for, and she said continues to stand for. She became the Prime Minister of Denmark, having first joined the ANC Youth League, which offered membership at the time when it was still in exile. That told me that this, your organization, has had a global profile, has had a global image, and it has been known as an organization of high values, an organization of great integrity. We must, as I say, therefore, measure the standing of the ANC Youth League, the events that it will embark upon, the deliberations and outcomes of this Congress against this very high standard. It has been indeed a long and arduous journey where we are closing a successful Congress of the ANC Youth League. It has taken many teams and interim committees and task teams that have moved forwards and backwards to get to this point. And the resilience and perseverance and dedication of many young people has brought us here. I want, however, to thank and commend members of the National Executive Committee who have assisted the ANC Youth League to get to this point, and many of them are sitting over there. I thank them for having brought you to this point. I also want to thank those who were in the NYTT who were given the task to shepherd the ANC Youth League to get to this Congress. I commend you for ensuring that this Congress has been held and it was not disrupted. Much as there was an attempt to try and disrupt it, you defeated that attempt and now you are having your Congress. Whatever challenges that you encountered, those must be put aside, and the ANC Youth League must now resume its place as a part and strong component of our movement. I commend you for ensuring that this Congress spend time on the hard work of discussing and agreeing on policies that are aimed at the economic emancipation of young people, as well as contributing to the overall unity and the renewal of the ANC. Like the generation of comrades Anton Lembede and Nelson Mandela, the young lions of the 80s who formed student organizations and contributed to making this country ungovernable, and the 1991 generation who launched the Youth League, again, you are called upon to define yourself what it means to be a vibrant, strong, autonomous, militant, and disciplined ANC Youth League of the African National Congress. The successful holding of this conference has given a powerful voice not only to the ANC Youth League members, but to the young people of this country. Young people of this country have not had a voice for quite a long time. You are now the voice of the young people of South Africa. You must now emerge as an autonomous organization, and you are free now to be the ANC Youth League and get out of the shadows of, yes, being handheld, being controlled, and being led by the ANC. You are now the ANC Youth League. The ANC and the ANC Youth League constitutions refer to organizational autonomy of the League from the ANC. Organizational autonomy implies, yes, administrative autonomy, organizational autonomy. It means independence in structure and activity. The League is not merely an auxiliary or an appendage of the ANC, but should have an organizational and administrative life of its own. This means the right of the League to convene and hold its own events and conferences, to take resolutions which affect it and its programs, and to elect its own leaders, like you have done by electing the officials, like you are going to do by electing the members of the National Executive Committee. No one else must elect those leaders but yourselves, because they are going to be your leaders. You have the right to establish your own infrastructure, and yes, you have the right to have your own bank accounts as well as your own projects. It is organizational autonomy, but the political part has to be executed and must adhere to the policy, political programs and strategy and tactics, as well as the ideological view of the African National Congress. On the other hand, the ANC always welcomes those ANC Youth League political positions which will help enrich its own policies. Having convened the 26th Congress of the ANC Youth League under the theme Economic Freedom and Social Change now rather than later, as delegates you grappled with how to tackle the fundamental question of the second phase of our transition, that of economic freedom. You deliberated on how to ensure that young people are empowered through economic and other initiatives that cater to their needs and their interests. You deliberated where you also dealt with social programs and initiatives that are required to genuinely transform our society in the interests of the people of South Africa. Your Congress has deliberated, yes, on issues of access to health, education, as it pertains to young people and the broader population. You took time to deliberate on how the Youth League must be organized and structured to respond to challenges facing young people. There are therefore a number of key tasks ahead of you that you must execute. You must rebuild and renew the ANC Youth League as the preferred leader of young people in South Africa. To do that, the ANC Youth League must be a disciplined organization. It must adhere to the values of our movement. You are required to mobilize young people for economic freedom and social change. But not only mobilize them, but come up with ideas, come up with strategies on how best to achieve economic emancipation. You are also required, as the ANC Youth League, to mobilize for a decisive victory of the African National Congress in 2024. You are the motive force that we have longed to have to ensure that we bring out our people in their millions to support and to vote for the ANC to ensure an overwhelming victory of the African National Congress in 2024. The ANC-NEC said in its 2023 January 8th statement that the ANC will only succeed in realizing its strategic objectives when it confronts its subjective weaknesses and successfully transforms itself into a renewed, responsive, modernized, well-governed, well-resourced, ethical, and caring and effective political formation. This also applies to you as the ANC Youth League. You must be modernized, you must be completely renewed, you must become attractive to the young people of our country. When they look at the ANC Youth League, they must see an organization that they want to belong to. They must not see an organization of indisciplined people. They must see an organization of highly disciplined people that you are. They must see an organization that, yes, they want to belong to. The ANC has embarked on this journey and has registered success as well as setbacks along the way of renewal. However, we can confidently say that the successes that we are registering completely outweigh the setbacks. All our structures, including our leagues, must embark on and contribute to this journey of renewal and rebuilding. And the Youth League must be deeply embedded in this process. It is undeniable that the absence of an elected national leadership has had a negative effect on the ability of the young lions to effectively lead the young people of South Africa. And I would like to believe that that period ends today, because we now have a leadership of the ANC Youth League. The leadership of the Youth League will now have to do the hard and thoroughgoing organizational work to rebuild our structures, your branches, your regions, to embark also on a huge membership drive and engage in political education to recruit young people. I want you to lay emphasis on political education, because it should be the ANC Youth League that composes of young people who are the most informed, the most aware, highly conscious, and also who are able to exercise leadership of the organization as well as of society. You will also have to deal with negative tendencies that have crept into all our structures over a long period, such as factionalism, gatekeeping, the use of money. You will have to do this in an organizational and principled manner and without any fear or favor. It is imperative that the Youth League at national level participates fully in the structures of the Alliance, especially the Progressive Youth Alliance, as part of the efforts that we need to take to strengthen progressive youth activism across society. This will play an important role of ensuring that youth debates become genuinely progressive and constructive. The ANC Youth League must be seen to be entering this sector of the battle of ideas. You are the ones who are supposed to be engaging in debates, yes, ensuring that the views, the policies of the African National Congress are spread throughout society. The Youth League must also form part of and participate in international progressive youth fora and ensure that the message of the ANC finds a response throughout the world. You must mobilize young people for economic freedom, yes, and social change. This newly elected leadership will lead young people at a time when the cost of living in our country is high and unemployment, but in particular, youth unemployment is unacceptably high. More than 11 million people in our country are unemployed. Critically, for this Congress, the most recently quarterly labor survey says that youth aged between 15 and 24 years and 24 and 34 years recorded the highest unemployment rates of 62%. Approximately 3.7 million young people between the ages of 15 to 24 were not in employment or training or education. You are therefore correct when you say that youth unemployment is a ticking time bomb. And like the young lions of 1944, you are correct to demand that we become more dynamic, more systematic, and more urgent in addressing this crisis. I want to count you as the ANC Youth League in joining this fight against unemployment, poverty, and inequality. This ANC government recognized that the state should create an environment for jobs to be created, and that it does have an important role to create employment and other economic opportunities, especially for young people. That is why we established the Presidential Employment Stimulus, which has to date created employment and livelihood opportunities for more than 1 million people. And the majority of the people who have taken up these opportunities have been young people. We are aware that more must be done, and we look forward to engaging with the contributions of the Youth League on this and many other job creation initiatives. And this is where we look forward to your creativity. This is where we look forward to the ideas that you are going to put on the table. Remember that it was the youth of 1944 that came up with strategies, that came up with tactics to inject more activism in the struggle of resistance and in the struggle to bring an end to apartheid. Similarly, as we face the challenges that we face today, we do expect that the ANC Youth League will come up with ideas, will be in the forefront of bringing ideas to the table. However, as we recognize in January 8th statement, much of the work that we are doing to stimulate investment and create jobs is being hampered by the severe electricity crisis that our country is going through right now. The Energy Action Plan we announced in July last year has been broadly accepted as the most realistic route towards resolving the energy crisis. We are undertaking several far-reaching measures to completely transform our country's energy sector, and we are hopeful that with the initiatives that we have put in place, we will be able to resolve the challenges that our country faces right now with persistent load shedding. We know that delegates to this Congress would have developed a broad range of innovative proposals to address the energy crisis, and we look forward to engaging with you on these. Despite tremendous and meaningful progress in improving the quality of life of many South Africans, too many of our people still live in poverty, as I said, and nearly a quarter of our compatriots live below the poverty line. We continue to make strides, however, in increasing the access of our people to a number of social services, such as education and a number of other public services as well. The number of poor and working class students today receiving NSFAS funding increased from 580,000 to 770,000 between 2018 and 2021. This is phenomenally progressive. Our interventions to improve school enrollment and attendance show steady progress, but the rate of school dropouts remains too high. It is said that a significant number of dropouts due to disability, illness, is quite high. We are looking at the Youth League to support our interventions through diversion and other community projects for young people. We must do all we can to keep young people in schools and other educational institutions, as dropping out may adversely affect their chances of getting a job or earning a living wage. I was pleased to hear that you have held intensive discussions and developed substantive proposals aimed at enhancing access to education. The movement cannot wait to begin engaging with you as the Youth League on all these proposals. There is still significant inequality in access to health care, and we look forward to hear the proposals emanating from this Congress on the matter of access to health care. The long overdue introduction of the National Health Insurance will enable every South African to receive appropriate, standardized quality health care, regardless of their ability to pay. We're looking forward to this bill coming into law. The ANC Youth League must join the rest of the mass democratic movement in mobilizing communities to defend and support the NHI. There's been an alarming increase in the rate of HIV infections, especially amongst young people. The reasons for this increase are multifold, such as our unacceptably high rate of gender-based violence, marked drop in HIV testing, and focus on HIV during the COVID period. The Youth League must embark on a multi-pronged campaign targeting issues of prevention, safe sex, and utilizing both traditional and new innovative forms of campaigning. This is an important area that I would like to see the Youth League getting involved in, to promote awareness on HIV and also to promote, yes, prevention amongst young people. Now, you must therefore get involved in this campaign. We want you, yes, obviously, to mobilize a decisive victory for the ANC in 2024. We have been missing youth activism as led by the ANC Youth League in the various elections that we have had. The Women's League of the ANC has distinguished itself in its activism, in its campaigning capability when it comes to elections. And I would like to see the ANC Youth League being in the lead when it comes to campaigning for the African National Congress. The ANC Women's League has been doing a fantastic job in this regard. So can the ANC Youth League as well. As we go to these elections, we are optimistic that now that there is an elected leadership of the ANC Youth League, there will be new impetus, there will be new drive to mobilize young people on behalf of our movement, because the absence of the Youth League was quite obvious. You must drive the campaign for voter education amongst our communities, focusing on young people to register to vote. It is said that it is young people who have had apathy when it comes to elections. This is a phenomenon that is global, but here in our country, because we are still developing our democracy, we need young people to register to vote in their large numbers. as we move towards the elections, it is the ANC Youth League that must be leading voter education campaigns, that must be encouraging young people to register, that must ensure that young people do go to vote. The Youth League must also focus on broader civic education, as too many people are still not aware of their own rights as set out in our Constitution. The revival of youth structures represent a significant and fundamental pillar of overall renewal and rebuilding of our revolutionary movement. Without a militant and vibrant and disciplined youth movement that is responsive to the needs of young people, the ANC may eventually lose the ability to grow and to renew itself. So therefore, I call upon you to return to the militancy of the ANC Youth League of the 1944 era, to go back to the militancy of the ANC Youth League of the 80s and the 90s. This is your heritage. That is where you belong. That is where we want to see the ANC Youth League returning to. We don't want to see an ANC Youth League that is docile. We don't want to see an ANC Youth League that is asleep during a revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution, and you must be that voice. The challenges that our country is going through, yes, must be articulated by the ANC Youth League. And it is this Youth League that must lead that whole process. The ANC NEC said in the January 8th statement that it will prioritize convening a successful conference of the ANC Youth League to prioritize the establishment of proper and effective structures. Now, under the guidance of the NEC, we have delivered. You are now here. And we trust that this leadership, as the Secretary General will report to the NEC, which will be meeting this coming weekend, that yes, we have delivered on that January 8th statement. The ANC Youth League is back. And the revived ANC Youth League is expected to be focused, to be revolutionary, to be militant, to be innovative in its ideas, and we expect it to lead the young people of South Africa. The young people of South Africa are therefore waiting. As you go beyond these doors, just know that you represent the African National Congress Youth League. You represent what our movement stands for, and deport and handle yourself in that way, because when people see you, they will be seeing the African National Congress. That is the badge of honor that you now wear. And we therefore say, forward with the revival of the ANC Youth League. As I look at you now, I see people who are revived,